Hi there, I'm Saria, and I'm here to provide a submission video for River City Ransom EX. River City Ransom EX is a 2004 Game Boy Advance remake of the NES beat-em-up with RPG elements, River City Ransom. River City Ransom EX recreates the story mode of the original title, adding tons of new characters and bosses, and revamping the fighting into a mind-bogglingly robust new system. This game allows players to embark on basically any type of journey they want. They can take Alex and Ryan on a simple, nostalgic trek through River City, or they can use the game's expansive customization options to craft a wildly souped-up new character and absolutely lay waste to unfortunate thugs. In this video, I will submit both of those options for consideration, and this time I will be offering them as a single bundled showcase. I will be performing these two runs back to back for a special cohesive experience. Any % Wussy Mode no cheats gets the viewer used to the game loop, and then their expectations are obliterated once we get into the unrestricted category. With the credits sequence forming a very short break in between the runs, a very safe estimate for this showcase should be 19 minutes. Most runs will finish well ahead of this estimate, but this accounts for atrocious luck in both runs. Even though any % Wussy Mode no cheats is the more volatile of the two categories I'm presenting in this video, it is still completely non-volatile. There's almost no way to take extreme time losses or deaths, and so basically every no reset run finishes comfortably ahead of 10 minutes. The unrestricted any % Wussy Mode category, on the other hand, is a fireworks show, which basically cannot go awry. This category uses an already maximally strengthened character with full application of the game's powerful move customization system. This godlike character soars through the city unopposed, relentlessly teleporting back and forth across the rooms to decimate enemies in a single hit. It's high octane, input heavy, and frenetic, but immensely safe all the way through, for a marathon that is, not for anyone else in River City. The worst possible mishaps that could occur in this run would be accidentally leaving rooms in the middle of fights. However, the fights are over so quickly, having to start one over from the beginning really isn't that big of a deal. The vast majority of any % Wussy Mode speedruns are shoe-ins for 5 minutes or less, so the combined 19-minute estimate should be a reliable safety net, even with multiple worst-case scenarios in the same run. This game is also ripe with potential for donation incentives. Because River City Ransom EX allows players to rename their character, donors can bid war to select the hero's name. Also, just like in the NES version, Cindy can be optionally rescued after the defeat of the Dragon Twins, and whether or not we do so can also be decided by a donation incentive. A smorgasbord of other optional quests exist in this game, but that one is the closest to the actual story path. Also conveniently placed in the main travel route is one of River City Ransom's most famous shops. That's right, the sauna is back in River City Ransom EX in sparkling 32-bit graphics. A visit to the sauna could also be earned by donors. River City Ransom EX is a stunningly feature-heavy remake. It seems like the developers wanted players to be able to craft countlessly diverse adventures through River City, and this makes it not only wonderful to replay casually, but fascinating to replay with speed as the main focus. Thank you for considering this game for your marathon. Good luck with the event. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at my provided contact mediums. I will now include example speedruns of both versions of any % Wussy Mode, starting with the no cheats category and followed by the unrestricted category. Enjoy! Hello everybody, my name is Saria, and this is pretty much where it all started for me. This is River City Ransom EX for the Game Boy Advance. I just cannot get enough of this video game. Ever since the day it came out in 2004, I have adored it. I pre-ordered it as a 10-year-old, and I have played the stuffing out of it ever since. And in 2015, I started speedrunning it. It was the first game I ever submitted to speedrun.com. It was the first game I ever held world record in, the first game I ever competed for world record in, and it is so special to me. And I hope to bring it to as many speedrunning events as I can and spread awareness to it about it to as many people as possible, and it is a huge dream of mine to one day have it on a GDQ stage. And I hope to show you why in this Double Trouble showcase. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to complete the easiest difficulty mode in this game back to back. And the first thing I'm going to do is just something cool the game offers you. You can change the brightness settings in general, foreground objects, and the background. I prefer to make the background a little bit darker because it just makes things a little bit more pleasant to look at for me. And I'm going to change the text to very fast. That just makes things much better for speedrunning. Everything goes way faster. There's the easiest difficulty mode, and I'm going to change to a single character hero, Alex. If we have an AI partner with us, they just generally tend to get in the way and cost time and make the AI enemies misbehave, and Alex is the better one to choose, because even though people give him more dialogue, he can actually kick people with his special powerful move that he starts the game with, who are lying on their stomachs and on their backs. And so that saves a lot of time overall compared to Ryan, who spends a lot of time missing people while they're lying on the ground. I think that this is an absolutely incredible entry-level speed game. It is perfect for people just looking to get into speedrunning for the first time. It is so safe, so forgiving, and so pleasant and effortless to get into. And when you have played it for a while, it's just like riding a bike. And I'm going to show you that because I haven't played this game in a long time, and I especially haven't played it on a GameCube D-pad in a while, and it's still going to be completely safe, and that should help show you just how marathon-friendly this is. And there will be an amazing place to read donations as well, and I'm also very chill with people cutting in and jumping in and hosting if they need to during the run, so keep that in mind, even though my commentary is going to be pretty breathless. So before I get too wordy right now, let's jump into it and start the first of our Double Trouble runs back to back. A vanilla character with no settings changed once we start the game. Pretty much the game just totally standard. It resembles the original River City Ransom's main speedrunning category. Let's get into it. In 3, 2, 1, go! The first thing we're going to do here is jump out of this room because in general you move faster in midair than you can when you are running on the ground with your initial running stat, and we're going to run right back into the first room of the game and then run back out of it immediately. That's not a mistake. That allows us to skip a cutscene later on by triggering a flag. And we're just going to run through a few rooms and then stop to fight in this one against the generic dudes. That's a good gang to fight. So in general throughout this game we're going to hope to see the weakest possible gangs in the game, the ones that go down in as few hits as possible. This game is very, very luck-based because throughout the entire game, lots of different gangs can appear, and some of them are way stronger and more resilient, and so we're gonna reset some rooms if we see some very strong gangs that take a lot of hits. By the way, goodbye, Moose. You're strong, he says, after I spiral through him into a bottomless pit. I don't know how we were able to hear him because he was plummeting all the way. That's fine, he'll be okay. This is a Kunio game, no one actually gets hurt, right? But you're going to see many, many tactics here. I'm going to try to play as precisely as possible. This physics engine is incredibly robust, and I'm going to try to be very, very careful in how I show everything off so that everything goes as smoothly as possible. And hopefully this goes smoothly. We're going to try to see the frat boys in this warehouse. This is one of the first major points of variance in the game. Fighting the mob takes way too long. It is way faster to just reset the room until you see these guys, the frat boys. Because, again, these guys go down mostly in one hit. The mob takes so many hits to take out, and so it's much a better use of your time for a while to just keep resetting the room until these guys show up. So it can take a long time to get this to work out. But let's just take care of Rocco here really quick. Goodbye. Because there are a couple of rooms in this game with glitchy walls, and so you can just throw them into the void, and they are never heard from again. Don't worry about it. And also, we're going to throw ourselves into the void to do a death ward because the next boss is earlier in the game. It's Blade, and I'm going to try and do a quick kill on him. Let's see if I can get this. Oh my gosh, I got it. Boom! I just did a perfect Blade fight. That makes me happy. I just stood him, I caught him back on his feet, and that allowed me to deal more damage because in general, in this game, if you are hitting people while they are standing on their feet, you are able to deal more damage to them than you can when they are lying on the ground. It just halves the amount of damage you can do when they are lying on the ground. And so we're going to try to employ the strategy of catching them back on their feet, which is very precise and usually frame perfect, to be... Oh! look at you go! And they stole the chain. That is so rare. So unlike the original River City Ransom for the NES, it is really, really uncommon for enemies to hit you while you're running through the rooms. In River City Ransom, the biggest bosses of the game are not the bosses, they're the standard enemies that you're just trying to avoid or fight to get the bosses to show up to progress the game. In this version of the game, the regular enemies, especially in the easiest difficulty mode, are totally fine. Everything is totally fine. This game is so forgiving, and I'm going to use the reason I needed this chain was to fight the jocks with them, because the jocks appear very commonly in here, and they take 12 damage to take out, and you can't really do that with your regular attacks. You need a chain to do that. I messed up a little bit, but you saw I used a special move there twice. I did a running, jumping, fully charged weapon throw. I wasn't just running and jumping to make my weapon throw stronger. I was also holding down the button while I was in midair the entire time. And the homeboys are actually very slow to fight here. I'm just gonna take it because this room is a big slot machine. You can see all of the 15 different gangs in this room, and most of them are not very fast to fight, and the homeboys are one of the not very fast ones to fight. But at least they cooperate. You see, they barely do anything. They just walk around and have a good old time like good old boys. Whoops, I got the weird dialogue glitch there, it's okay. So unfortunately there were no weapons around because the homeboys kind of messed things up in that regard, and so I couldn't start out the Mojo fight by doing a fully charged dash jumping weapon throw. I also just barely missed catching him on his feet with a jab there, and so this was a pretty slow room. Like, nothing like visually went terribly wrong there, we just did not get very good luck. And we're gonna hope for luck in this shop that we're about to visit, because we're gonna stop at a shoe store to buy some shoes. We're gonna hope to see the pump sneaks. We did not see anything good at all. I am going to buy the high tops, so that's another big point of luck here. There are so many different items that can appear in every single shop in the game, so much so that the game cannot load all of them at once. It has to choose from a large pool of items which ones actually show up in the shop whenever you visit it. And in the regular setting for the game, it takes many visits for that list to change. And so in the purposes of this speedrun, whatever we see is what we're stuck with. And we're stuck with the high tops, and so it's going to go a little bit slower from here on, especially when we miss that guy. Let's just use him as a weapon against his friend. We don't worry about it. Yeah! The ow boys, and they're saying ow. We're just gonna use lots of weapon throws here just to have some fun, and that's fun too. What are you doing, buddy? Let's just do this. That's actually pretty risky, but it's okay. We're not gonna worry about it. And you know what else is risky? Trying to fight me in a room with a pit, Thor. Get out of here. That was a full red kill there. Shoutouts to Red. He didn't even recover in midair as I threw him to his doom. And he's just hanging out with Moose down there now. Don't worry about it. Hi, Shell. Bye, Shell. Don't worry about that either. We are now headed toward the end game here. You saw I reset the room in the factory because I saw the locals there initially. I got hit again. That's so rare. If we see the locals again, we will definitely reset the room because the locals are by far the worst gang in the game to fight. They do not show up very often in this room. I just got them twice in a row. That's very, very unlikely. We're getting some weird luck in this run, but that's a Kunio game for you. That's uncommon luck is common in a Kunio game, if that makes sense. And my dash attacks are much weaker because I have the high tops here, and so I'm not going to use dash attacks against these guys. I also cannot do the regular Ivan fight here, so I kind of have to improvise here. That's a little scary. Okay, we've knocked him down. So because I wasn't able to get pump sneaks or stronger, I wasn't able to do the fast way to do this fight and the safe way to do this fight, but we actually saved some time in the air because I recognized that I could catch him on his feet, and that went just fine. And now I'm going to try and do a very, very difficult gym jump. That basketball hoop has an incredibly small detection area. Getting it first try on a GameCube controller D-pad is something I feel good about. Locals, let's not. Let's not. I mean, I could show it off in a showcase. If I get them here, I'll try and fight them. Nope. I'm going to do some spawning manipulation there to get them all in the exact same place. So all throughout the run, you saw that I normally was doing this and waiting on the side of the screen before actually fighting people. That allows them to group up when they spawn, and that just allows things to go much faster in general. And that's a pretty good fight there, even though I didn't wait. I just waited for a second and forgot what I was doing. And Swaggin' Twins, boom. That's a fun way to start the fight. And that was a little risky there. I should have waited for them to get up like this. so that they don't recover in midair and then catch each other and then throw each other away. So here's a Dragon Twins fight, and he's done, and he's done. Let's do some little swaggy glitch jumps, and now onward to the final fight in this first Double Trouble run. Here's a climactic battle with Slick, and good night. Simon says to give me a break. You just threw me into the void. You have torn reality asunder, and I can't handle it. That's fair, Slick. That's fair. That is how to complete the game as quickly as possible in the easiest difficulty mode with a vanilla character without changing any in-game settings. That is the category known as any % Wussy Mode, no cheats. And cheats is just a general term that refers to not employing any changes to the really, really boundless features that the game allows you to change, which we will change a couple of in the showcase run coming up right after this one. But for now, we are forced to wait through a little credits sequence here, which is a perfect time for some donations and announcements. Take it away, lovely host.
I called for a lovely host, but we're still stuck with me instead. I hope you all enjoyed that basic speedrun of River City Ransom EX's easiest difficulty mode in its most vanilla state. And now, it is time for something completely different in the next run. The hope in combining these two runs back to back is to increase this game's runtime enough so that it can fill up a more reasonable length for something like a GDQ event. Even if we include many incentives which take up a decent amount of time in the runs, both categories are so consistent that it is so likely for them to finish in a median time together at 15 minutes or less. So hopefully that is a run time that is very intuitive for your event. Enjoy this next run.
Excellent, and now I'm going to try and get into the next run quickly. It saves a lot of our settings, and so I don't have to change the brightness again. I'm going to put the character I'm going to use into the Ryan slot, because again, Ryan gets less dialogue. Let's make sure we're on the easiest difficulty mode, and get right into this one. The first thing we're going to do is change some of the pause settings this time. Go in here, speed +2, gravity +2. Speed +2 makes every single character in the game move faster. Gravity +2 makes everybody fall faster, which is essential for completing this game quickly. I'm going to use the enemies as a bridge here, and as you can see, things are looking a little bit different. Phil just asked how I'm doing. I'm doing great, Phil. Thanks for asking. Aside from me getting the worst possible spawning luck there, that's really bad. That's gonna cost me like 5 seconds. But 5 seconds, do you notice things being bad? I think we're still fine. And Moose is not fine, by the way. Speaking of fine, not Moose. So, this is any % Wussy Mode, anything goes. I have pre-strengthened a character with a lot of the best possible synergy in terms of very special techniques to use, maximum stats, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Let's try and get this left-right sequence. Perfect. So that took some very specific timing, and now this. Goodbye. He'll show you a real challenge. Press something, I forget what letter on the keyboard it is, to doubt. Is it X? The Blade's gonna have X eyes. Goodbye. So, yeah, this is just glorious. I believe that this is basically like a quintessential speedrun. It just looks fast. We're teleporting all over the place. We are way too powerful for our own good. River City doesn't stand a chance. It is just a victory lap, and it is so entertaining, I think. It is so glorious to play. It just feels amazing. And we're already at the next place to fight. We just had to run through so many rooms, and we're there. So let's just try and set up this left-right sequence. We're trying to collect coins as quickly as possible because that's what spawns the next person in. We got terrible luck there, but again, getting horrible luck in this category really doesn't matter because we're just too strong. Both of these categories that I'm doing back-to-back are so marathon safe. Nice block! What a god! Oh, you love to see it whenever they actually are somewhat competent against all odds. Oh my gosh, and so that cost me a decent amount of time because it messed up my sequence, but a decent amount of time in this category is like 3 seconds. I do have to be careful in this next room because this is the factory where there's a pit. So I could die here and lose like 10 seconds. Dun dun dun. I'm gonna wait for a moment here and teleport using a guy as a target who is on that level. We're getting a lot of jocks here, a lot of athletic young men. I also need to be careful that I don't accidentally run out of the room. We're fine. I'm gonna spawn this guy over here. Very, very quick taps on the dash. Nice double kill there. And now we have weapons to use against Thor. Boom. Just wait for those ones and just casually walk out of here. Don't worry about it. Goodbye, Saria. We don't care about Saria. It's really cool in this game that you can, in creating custom characters, in that room, you can fight them as a boss if you go solo. It's such a cool feature. This is just such a beautiful and fun and wonderful game. So robust, so many cool ideas. And we have weapons again, and so Ivan's not gonna like that. Goodbye. And now, let's try and get the gym jump a different way this time. Oh, I messed it up a little bit, but it's fine. We're fine. Just casually walk up here. We're already at the end game again. And now we don't have to wait here for spawning manipulation. We can just go. Except I'm a dummy. I forgot what I was doing. But again, even when you make big mistakes here, you're fine. Nothing is a huge deal. We're too freaking powerful. Boom! And I'm just going to wait here. They're going to appear, and goodbye. That is the infamous Dragon Twins done. And we don't even have to use the glitch against Slick because we're too good. Time is coming up. Let's go see our people. And time! Isn't that just a delight? I hope it is. I really hope you enjoyed that. That is the second of the Double Trouble runs, and that is the entire showcase complete. Oh my goodness gracious, I love this game so much. And again, that was my first time playing it in 2 years-ish? Yeah, almost 2 years. And my first time playing it on this controller in even longer than that. And it's just so forgiving. It is so... I can't say enough good things about how this is a beautiful entry-level speedrun. It just feels good to play. Once you get used to the general physics and a little bit of unwieldiness if you're used to the other Kunio games, especially the original River City Ransom, it's a completely new system in basically every single way with so many features, so many things you have to be aware of at all times. But once you master it, it is so rewarding. And you can just absolutely dominate every single aspect of the game, even though it is still so luck-based, like all Kunio games are. And even though when you get to a high level, it just comes down to resetting rooms until you see gangs weak enough to take them out quickly in very few hits. It's just so satisfying to me to use the incredibly ample and deep physics engine to its full potential and just play around. And my deep hope is that this can help, whether it's just through this video or through you finding, hopefully, that this can have a good fit for your event, that I can bring this game to more people's minds and give them an interest in it. And hopefully this can also be an amazing game to get more people into this amazing thing called speedrunning. I really hope no matter who you are watching this, whether you're considering it for an event, if you are, thank you so much, or you're just watching this casually, I really hope you found this entertaining. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time, because as you could tell, I had a brilliant time, as I always do. I wish all of you the very best that life has to offer. Have an amazing one, everybody. Dream on, folks. Peace.